very dry. He drops down to 13-7. And probably more importantly, it's the 5th time he's been stopped. So you've got to question what we call in boxing his beard. And speaking of beards, we take a look at the Texas heavyweight champion entering the ring right now, Ricky Jackson. He's looking to get back on track right now after his knockout loss to Bobby Chez back in December. That's his opponent, Warren Williams. Williams coming out of Memphis, Tennessee. 9-7-1 record, but 7 knockouts, has some punching power. Jackson, not particularly known for his punching power, has 12 knockouts in his 19 wins. And it was nice to hear, as a manager, McKnight talk about, I'll put whoever they put in front of me. One thing to look out for here, Warren Williams is a southpaw.
Bob's on headset. Yes, we're ready to go here.
And wondering if Ricky Jackson took this fight on somewhat short notice, if he had a chance to work out much with southpaws. And we're going to go up to our ring announcer, Carlos Silva, for the official introductions.
All right, guys, here we go for the 3rd bout of the evening. 6 rounds, heavyweights. And when the bell sounds, the man in charge, Ronnie Ralston. Here we go, fight fans. Out of the blue corner, wearing the multicolored trunks from Memphis, Tennessee, weighing in at 250 pounds, with a record of 9 wins and only 7 defeats and 7 knockouts. Help me welcome Warren Williams. And his opponent, to my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white colored trunks and black trim, from Houston, Texas, weighing in at 217 pounds, with a record of 19 wins, coupled with only 1 defeat and 12 big knockouts. Help me welcome Ricky Action Jackson.
Okay, gentlemen, you received your instructions in the dressing room. I want a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Touch him up.
6 rounds, heavyweights.
Ricky Jackson looking to get his life back on track here. Comes in at 217 pounds. Rather heavy for him. Not a career high, but heavy where he's concerned. Other than that, a slight reach advantage. Warren Williams, 34 years of age. Jackson, 30. Needs his career to get kick-started again. And Bob, got a fighter like him, and we start round number 1, somewhat of a devastating defeat by the hands of Bobby Chez. What's going through his mind right now, a fighter looking to get back on track? What are they telling him in the corner?
Well, you know, Ricky Jackson never had an amateur career, so, you know, the early part of his professional career was just that. Even though he's 30 years old, you know, he didn't have those miles on him as an amateur. And, you know, Chez a very savvy fighter. It was really like going to school for him. And I think what he showed in that fight was tremendous heart, you know, in the fact that he didn't have a good night. And, you know, Chez can go all night when it's going his way, and he's setting the pace. And that's exactly what he was doing and what he was looking to do. You know, Jackson took a bad beating in the fight, but I think, you know, he showed everybody a lot of heart, and, you know, which is what he showed continuously in this business thus far in the gym. You know, he's no quitter, and, you know, he's gotten off the deck several times early in his career to, you know, to win fights. And, you know, the Chez, it was just a matter of, I think, youth against experience, even though the ages were similar.
A little more than a minute gone by in round number 1. We're scheduled for 6. That's Ricky Jackson who we're talking about. He's in the white shorts with the black stripe. Warren Williams in the multicolor. What about his weight, Bob? He's coming in at 217, which is heavy for him.
Well, he's a heavyweight. You know, that's what he wants to fight at. You know, there's no money in the cruiserweight division, and you know, I think he knows that, and you know, he's an athlete. The guy, you know, whatever he puts on, he's not going to, you know, when he puts on weight, unlike maybe Mr. Williams, he's not going to gain it all in certain parts of his body. You know, Ricky carries his weight symmetrically pretty well, and you know, it's just, you know, this is the money division, and you know, that's where he wants to compete.
Okay, now Jackson comes back in today. He's fighting Williams, who's very obviously a southpaw. Do you think he trained to fight a southpaw in this fight, or because this was a sort of a late add-on?
No, he certainly didn't train to fight a southpaw, but he's fought several southpaws, probably better, more well-thought-of opponents than Warren Williams. He fought Troy Jefferson and Jesse Shelby, went 8 and 10 rounds respectively with the two of those, and, he's seen some of that in his career. He's experienced with that even though he didn't have any amateur experience.
Okay. Williams seems to be rocking him a bit here, though, in round number 1. Williams has some punching power. He's got 7 knockouts in his 9 wins. He's got Jackson pinned up in the corner.
Well, Williams is touching him with some quick-handed little combinations. I don't know that he's landed any big shots on Ricky Jackson, but Ricky's got
15 seconds to go in round number 1, and Williams certainly the busier of the two thus far in round number 1. Back in the corner with Ricky Jackson, potato by Bolden, giving him a little bit of a talking to, Bob.
No, Potato Pie is going to try to get him settled down, and I think what Rick's got to do in this fight is stop trying to outbox this guy and go in and fight him a little bit. I don't think, Williams took this fight on short notice too, and obviously he's not in the kind of shape probably that Ricky Jackson is. You can't let a southpaw sit there and get cute with you. You got to go out there and fight him, and we'll take a replay, take a look at it here of
round number 1 action.
There's that Ricky with that straight left hand, and there he follows him into the corner. Really, just kind of grazing punches there. He didn't really hit him with any shots, but early in the replay, we saw that straight left hand.
Round number 2, we're scheduled for 6. Ricky Jackson in the white shorts with the black stripe. Warren Williams in the multicolor shorts, sort of the swim short apparel, the cruise wear, let's call it. And we're joined right now in round number 2 by our other boxing analyst and well-known boxing manager of Obed Sullivan, Steve Munisteri. Steve, you've been in a situation like this with professional fighters where you have to bring them back after a loss. Ricky Jackson's in there tonight. Seeming a little tentative for you?
I would be tentative as well if I had been knocked out as badly as Bobby Ches, but I think he's getting his feet under him, and I expect him to come on here in the 2nd and 3rd rounds. But it's a difficult situation for fighters, especially if they haven't been knocked out like that before.
What I think Ricky wants to do here is, settle down and throw the jab and then the straight right hand to the body, really start feasting on that, which is obviously Williams' weak spot, and not trying to parry out there. And, Williams has got a quick set of hands for a big guy like that, and, Ricky's got a loop there. Nice left hook by Jackson. Caught Williams, which is even a better finishing punch, make it the 3rd punch of a combination, jab, right hand, left hook coming back.
Williams remains, though, the busier of the two as we're almost halfway gone in round number 2. Williams has been stopped 3 times in his career, once by Gerald Mitchell. Samson Pua stopped him in 1 round, and the infamous Vaughn Bean stopped him in 2.
There you see Jackson trying to get down on that body, which is just what he wants to do, and Williams trying to act like it's not bothering him all. Ricky's got to go forward. He's got to go forward with this guy. He doesn't want to stand on the outside and let Williams use those quick hands on him. Wants to move forward and be the man, be the boss.
Something I'd worry about if I was Ricky's manager is you only have a 6-round fight here, so he doesn't have time to really give 2 or 3 rounds to Williams. He needs to come on fairly shortly. But I do think he's been much more aggressive this round, and having taken the beating he did with Bobby Ches, he has to be a little tentative to stop, but those cobwebs should be shaken off.
Jackson's got 12 knockouts in his 19 wins, and a lot of them came with inside the 6-round distance. As a matter of fact, only one of those knockouts came after round 6. And that was back in '93 against Willie Washington. So if he's going to take him out, he usually takes out his guys early, as we're at the 32nd mark in round number 2.
But you can see what kind of fighter Williams is Ricky Jackson's landing the harder punches. Williams has got some quick hands, land a couple little combinations. Ricky's got to get in there and force this fight.
There's something about a comeback fight, Arnie. You need to win your comeback fights.
I've heard that before, Steve. That's an old adage. Winning comeback fights is good. As we come to the end of round number 2, we'll see what Ricky can put together. Ricky Jackson shakes his head when he gets back to the corner at Potato Pie Bolden. He doesn't seem happy with his performance, Bob.
No, I don't think so. He started to get some things done early in this round, but he let Williams, play it off and, get back to fighting him on the outside, which I think favors Williams.
Warren Williams taking the fight on short notice. No youngster by boxing standards. He's 34 years old, and we take a look at action here from round number 2. Another pretty good round for Warren Williams. Ricky Jackson looking to get unspun here as we look at one of the big boxing fans in Houston. She'll be at the Ritz later. It's the third round. We're here at the Ramada Astrodome Hotel in Houston, Texas. Arnie Tokyo Rosenthal, along with Bob Spagnola and our guest commentator Steve Munisteri.
Potato Pie's telling him, get mean in there. That's, I can hear him from here, and he's just, he knows what he's got to do. He's got to go and make this guy fight, make him exchange punches. This guy doesn't really want to fight Ricky Jackson, and I think if Ricky goes forward and takes over this fight, that's exactly what he'll do.
And he does need to take it over quickly, Bob, because I think he has to win 3 out of 4 rounds just to draw even. I think he's 2 points down coming into the third.
But that's what he wants to do. What he's doing right here, he got started in the second round, but he let Williams kind of talk him out of it. Williams wants his pace to be slow. He just wants to throw a couple quick 3-punch combinations, which he throws, starting and finishing with the right hand. And, Jackson's got to get in there and rumble. And there he hit him with another good shot, good body punch there. That's what he's got to do. He's got to make a fight out of this. Shorten up his punches a little bit, but...
We got a little bit more than a minute going by in round number 3, and that was Jackson dropping in a right-hand lead, the classic thing you need to do against a southpaw. Starting to get on track now and get comfortable with Williams in there. Much better round for Ricky Jackson.
Good body shots by Ricky Jackson, too. And there's a big hook by Jackson. See, this is what he's got to do. He's got to make a fight out of this. Don't stand on the outside and let this guy box him. Williams can't match power with Ricky Jackson. He's trying to just outpoint him here.
Jackson's in the white shorts with the black stripe, multicolored shorts. Warren Williams, he's a southpaw. Your TV set's not backwards.
I think Jackson's hurt him a couple of times, Bob. I don't know if you agree.
No, I think he has, and he hurt him again right there. He's got to fight this guy. He's got to get in and rumble. He doesn't like to. He likes to box, Ricky does, but sometimes you got to get out there and fight, and this is just one of those times.
And it looks like he's winning the rumble when he does go to rumble.
Oh, he definitely is. Williams can't exchange power with him. He's got quick little hands and good combinations, even for a guy built like he is, but Jackson's a stronger man in there.
Williams stopped 3 times in his career.
And you see Williams taking big gulps of air.
Last time was back in '93 against Vaughn Bean. Hasn't been stopped since November of '93 on a 2-bout winning streak. His last fight was this past March, stopping Leonard Long in 3. And of course, Ricky Jackson has not fought since he got stopped by Bobby Ches back in December in the 6th round. That was for the WBU Super Cruiserweight title. Jackson having to come in under 209. He weighs 217 pounds for this fight today, second heaviest of his pro career. Heaviest being 223 against Calvin Beasley. That was back in October of '94.
Well, Jackson really getting some power shots off on Williams here in this round. That's what he wants to do. Let this guy know, hey, I'm the man, I'm the boss. I'm going to hammer you in here.
Wanting to keep the blows up by Ronnie Roston as Jackson dropped in a couple of low blows here at the end of round number 3. A good one for Ricky Jackson coming back. Very tired Warren Williams. They're trying to revive him in a corner.
I think this kind of pace is much better suited for Ricky Jackson than Williams. I don't think Williams can fight like this at this kind of a pace, and I think Jackson, although he's extended some energy, he can fight like this. I've watched him for years.
And Steve, I would have expected, as Bob said, a little faster pace from Ricky in the first 2 rounds, but he's certainly caught up now. We take a look at action from round number 3, and here's that right-hand lead that really turned the tide in the round and possibly at this point in the fight. Certainly momentum right now in favor of Ricky Jackson. There was a very good left hook following up also, doing all the right things now against the southpaw.
What Ricky Jackson's got to do in this round is pick it right up where he left it off. He cannot, lay back into things. Let Williams get in boxing on the outside. He's got to go right out there and pick up where he left off, being the man, throwing some heavy shots on this guy, backing him up and setting a fast pace.
I still have him down by a point, so if he really wants to win the fight, he needs to try to win all 3 rounds.
I got to tell you, though, I looked at Warren Williams between rounds, and he looked totally exhausted. That pace that Jackson set in the 3rd round really put Williams behind the 8 ball. And Ricky's got to see if he can keep up that pace right now. It's only a 6-round fight, as Steve, you pointed out. I've got him down 2 rounds to 1. But right now, Ricky Jackson seems in total control. It wouldn't surprise me if he stops Williams in this round.
He's the fresher fighter. He needs to let it all go. He sure can't save anything. He's used to going 8-10 rounds, and Williams, like you said, was tired. He doesn't want to let him rest.
But he can't afford to let off even a single round, because if you're down by a point with only 3 rounds to go, you really need to win all 3 rounds, otherwise you have a draw. And he's slowing down just a little bit. I think he should keep that pace, keep that jab going, keep the pressure on Williams.
A little more than a minute gone by in round number 4. Again, this is scheduled for 6. Williams misses a looping shot, falls down, which even more points out just how tired he is at this point. Jackson tries to wade in. Again, he hasn't fought since December.
And you can see Williams is looking to hold the minute he gets in there.
I think if Jackson will just put some pressure on him, he could take this guy out of there in the next round or 2. But if he doesn't, anything can happen with the judges.
Along those same lines, he's letting Williams back in the fight now. Williams starting to move that jab, and Jackson doesn't want to fight him from the outside. He wants to go in like he just did there and work that belly. Good right hand lead again, and that's the punch that did it for him last round that turned the tide.
I think he's hurt again, Arnie, and now he had a couple of good body shots on top of the head shot.
I think you're right, Steve. Under a minute to go here in round number 4, but plenty of time, though. And again, Ronnie Ralston wanting Ricky Jackson to keep the blows up.
Jackson doing what he wants to do here, though, and Williams has slowed down tremendously.
Williams hurt, too. He was about ready to tip forward, and it's actually Jackson that's holding Williams up at this point. He needs to get away from him and let Williams fall down. Just about 30 seconds to go. Still plenty of time for Jackson to capitalize on what seems to me to be a very depleted Warren Williams at this point.
Very good right hand.
And it's the right hand lead that's working for him. The Sunday punch when you're fighting the southpaw.
And he needs to follow up and finish this guy off. He can't let him have a single round back in.
Yeah, Williams' legs are getting very heavy here.
Williams going to survive the round, though, as Ricky Jackson gives him a body shot to take back to the corner with. Warren Williams talking to his corner man like he's ready to quit, like he's had enough. He's not sitting down, and I think they're going to wave it off. He's saying that he doesn't want any more.
And the irony is, Arnie, it's only 2 rounds to 2. So
he's going to quit. His corner man's telling Ronnie Ralston it's over. He caught a thumb in the eye or something. He can't say that's it. And Ricky Jackson successfully returns to the ring. First fight since that loss to Bobby Ches. He improves to 20-1. That's his 13th knockout. Warren Williams drops down to 9-8. And we're going to take a look here. Look at him. You can see how tired Williams was over looping. Left hand misses. Ricky Jackson just watches him fall down to his knees. Not a knockdown, but he was eating uppercuts inside and right hand leads throughout the round. There's one of those body shots just on the borderline. Ricky got 2 warnings from Ronnie Ralston in the fight. It's all academic now because he's got the big W and the big KO. And we're going to go up now to Carlos Silva with our official announcement.
Fight fans, here we go. The opponent failed to answer the bell for the 5th round. So we have a winner by TKO. Out of the red corner, Ricky Action Jackson.
Once again, Once again, there you have it. Ricky Jackson improves to 20-1, 13 knockouts. And Bob, he's got to be real happy now. You know, he gets the cobwebs behind him, the ghost of Ches behind him, and continues on with his career. He seems to me a lot more comfortable at this weight. He seems to carry the 217 with no problem.
No,
of course, he had to come in under 209 for that Ches fight.
Ricky's an athlete. You know, he made cruiserweight when he had to, but you know, he feels like his quickness and his athleticism is better at heavyweight than at cruiserweight, and certainly the money and the opportunities are much bigger and better there.
Coming up, we got a 4-round welterweight fight. Frank Gonzalez out of Houston versus Marco Sanchez, San Antonio, Texas.
That's the third time he's been stopped. It's the second time in a row. He was stopped, of course, by Johnny Ruiz back in July with the first-round knockout. He's got to reevaluate his career at this point. I'm certain he's also going to have to get a good neurological exam. Made a lot of trouble after getting dropped, and it appeared in a lot of trouble very early on there in the third round. Took a lot of punishment. Tried to hold on midway through the third round. Eventually couldn't do that, and it was a series of clubbing right hands that finally put him to the canvas for the full 10 count. Bob, you know, you've got to look at Everett Davis at 31 years of age, sort of having a resurgence, and you talk about how much a team matters and who's handling you. As we said, he had that 4-fight losing streak, actually 5 out of 6 fights, and you see who he kept being put in with. He started with Alex Garcia, who was a very hot heavyweight at the time back in December of '93, lost a very close 10-round decision.
It was life and death with Garcia.
Yeah. Then he comes back and he gets stopped by Gillespie. He's put in with David Chua, who's one of the best in the world at this present moment. Jeremy Williams and Tim Witherspoon, former 2-time heavyweight champion. That's 4 out of 5 fights in a row. And you got to think, what, that wasn't very sound strategy.
No, but he was self-managed, as I alluded to in his interview. He was making his own decisions, and you know, that just doesn't work in this business. And regardless of the quality of the athlete involved, you know, sometimes I remember when Pinkman Thomas was champion and he just looked unbeatable. He had that tremendous jab, started handling all his own business, and he just fell over the edge. It's impossible for a guy to wear all those hats.
All right, and we got a 8-round fight with Ricky Jackson and Jesse Henry. We're going to go up for the official introductions from Carlos Silva.
Here we go for the next bout of the evening. 8 rounds, heavyweights. When the bell sounds, the referee in charge, Mr. Ronnie Ralston. Introducing the principals, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks with white colored trim, weighing in at 217 pounds. With an outstanding professional record of 20 wins, only 1 defeat, and 13 by way of knockout. He is from Houston, Texas. Help me welcome Ricky Jackson. And introducing his opponent to my left, wearing white trunks with red color trim, weighing in at a trim 250 pounds. With a professional record of 5 wins, only 5 defeats, and 1 by way of knockout. He is from Fort Worth, Texas. Help me welcome Jesse Black Rhino